Hey everyone, I've got a real treat for you today. It's the Rhythmic 10 portable keyboard. It's one of those old keyboards that sounds like this. Okay, panning across the front panel, we've got the right speaker there of the stereo set, drum pads here, and what's very interesting, you can probably see a light moving along 8 steps there. We actually have an 8-step sequencer for rhythm programming. Brilliant! We got voice selection here, 12 to choose from with sustain and vibrato, and there is a little bit of synthesis available on these sounds too. I'll show you that in a second. Now I have a feeling a lot of you will be saying, do the sequencer, do the sequencer. Okay, you press the program button and the guide starts. What we can do then is, did I time that correctly? No, I got it wrong, but that's okay. Alright. So it's pretty obvious what's happening. It's inserting that drum beat at the closest point in this sequence right here. And it's quantizing it as we go. Unfortunately, the pads are quite deep. You really have to press in there to get them. And if you want to clear what you've made, just hold down clear, and it's all gone. Let's try again. Okay. That should be... No, I got it wrong again. There we are. No. Let's try increasing that tempo. Okay. So it's starting to sound like some of those experimental Radiohead songs. I'm going to try one more. Tempo right down, and let's go to maximum. Nice. In the middle we've got our accompaniment control section, and this isn't a mixer. What this will do is change the sound of each of the voices that are participating in that accompaniment, so you can change your bass sound and your chord sound, etc. Like a Casio here, we've got fingered mode through to no accompaniment mode at all, and anything in between, so we can control precisely where the accompaniment is going. There is a little bit of mixing available though, because you can adjust the chord volume and the bass volume. And underneath the awesome logo, which I really love, takes me right back to the 80s, we've got the synthesizer section. I use the term synthesizer very loosely. You switch it on and basically you've got four very basic and quite similar envelope controls, and you can change between 5 different wave formats. This is actually completely separate to the 12 voices that you can choose from. You switch this on, it's a voice on its own. So in that mode you'll find that you can't change voices. And there are still more good features right at the most basic level, and this is what I love about the Rhythmic 10. All the essential things are there. Transposing, instant, very quick, with a light to tell you whether you're transposed or not. Light off when you're playing notes at the default frequencies. For some reason our fill-in button for the rhythms is way over here, not in the rhythm section. That's a bit bizarre. Then of course we've got volume and our on-off button. Now rhythms, this is going to be a lot of fun. I'll turn the volume up a little bit, and remember also that my fill-in button is way over on the left hand side there. Anyway, we'll start with electric pop. If I keep pressing fill in, I'm on Foxtrot now and it'll keep playing that fill, which actually sounds better than the basic Foxtrot beat. Back to the basic beat, which is way more boring. Custom drummer, that's our beat that we made before. Disco. Again, it's more interesting on the fill. 16 beat. Oops. Eight beat. Next one is tango. March is next. I love that deep bass drum on the fill. It's good to know if you hold down the fill-in button, it'll just keep playing that fill. Let's try hard rock. Bossa Nova there, and waltz. It's good to see that a 3/4 time is possible on the sequencer. And another cool fill. The sound palette is very small and it won't take us long to go through them, so let's start with piano, of course. Oh, of course, I've still got my accompaniment on there, which gives you a kind of a monophonic thing at the low end. Actually, while that's happening, let's pan down there and see if changing the accompaniment voices affects things. Oh yeah. Only on the bass sound, unfortunately. Still a good little bonus though. Back to our main voices. And I'll turn our accompaniment off so that we get a full keyboard range. Next we've got oboe. Pretty harsh. Violin. Interesting. Let's try adding the vibrato effect. Okay, and flute. Does vibrato stay on? Yes. Very digital sounding vibrato. And sustain. Had some notes cutting out in an interesting way there. There could be some relationship between sustain and a very limited polyphony that might cause those notes to chop out, which is a good effect. It's not necessarily a limiting thing. Let's try vibraphone. And without sustain and vibrato. Music box. Guitar. Well, sounds nothing like a guitar, but what can you do? Let's try sustain and vibrato. That's interesting. That's a usable sound. Organ. I'm going to switch sustain off for this one, but keep the vibrato on. That's nice. We got another organ, pipe organ. That's pretty good. Let's try it without vibrato. Clarinet is next. Okay, and chimes. This one needs sustain too, I think. And the last one is saxophone. We'll probably have the effects off for that. Now, auto accompaniments. This is the first time I've tried this, so I guess we'll start with electric pop as our rhythm, and let's try 16 beat. Was a bit awkward. Lots of scope for experimenting. The back is super simple and a little bit strange. We've got headphones and an auxiliary out, so two outward sources for your sound and our power socket. And it can run on a set of D batteries. Well, long story short, Gearfacts friends, I love this keyboard. The vintage feel is just awesome. I know the original makers would never have intended this, but if you've got any kind of affinity with the 80s sound or the 80s generally, you really should keep your eyes out for one of these. Thanks for watching Gearfacts, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed that demo as much as I enjoyed making it. Please like, comment or subscribe. Definitely hit me up with your comments or any other history you know about this Rhythmic 10 keyboard. And I'll see you next time on Gearfacts.